Welcome back to Rod Reacts. Rod Reacts to everything India. Hopefully you're having a positive day, a good day. If you're new to the channel, let me know where you're from down below in the comment section. I read most of every comment. And we're going to check out a video. It's called The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Speaks with Prince Arjuna. Hopefully I said that right. Extra Mythology. That's what the title is. So we're going to learn more about the Bhagavad Gita. So I'm excited about that. Another story of Krishna. I'm excited about that. So let's go ahead and check it out. Let's react to it. Let's see what I can learn. If the video misquotes or gives me misinformation, let me know down below in the comment section. Sometimes I react to a video and I'll get comments saying, hey, you know, the video's good, but this part of it was wrong. So I like correct information, so don't be shy to leave a comment down below. So let's check this out.
Myths are not stories that are untrue. Rather, they are tales that don't fit neatly into the historical record, which serve as a foundation to a culture. 5,000 years ago, in ancient India, the royal lineage came into conflict over who should ascend to the throne.
Uh-oh.
Two sets of cousins each believed they were the rightful heirs. On one side, the Pandavas, consisting of 5 noble brothers.
Right.
On the other, the Kauravas, the 100 sons of a blind regent. Unable to agree on a ruler through peaceful means, the factions go to war. With the battle lines drawn and
Bloody.
the armies mustered, it seems impossible to tell which side will win. But the Pandavas have some special help.
Alright. If you got Krishna on your side, I mean, that's some special help, right?
The battlefield was a fearsome sight to behold. Drums beat, conch shells blared, and lords and kings shouted orders. Elephants adorned in gold trumpeted amidst gleaming chariots, with each convoy the size of a small city. Armor glittering with embedded gems blazed like fire in a rainbow of battle standards.
Could you imagine the scene if you could just warp back in time and be invisible and be able to see this? I'm sure there's stuff that you would see that you wouldn't want to see because it's probably going to get bloody, you know? But could you imagine the sights to be seen? Oh my goodness.
But as the two mighty forces stood ready for war, the Pandava prince Arjuna faltered. For when he looked out at the two armies, he did not see foot soldiers and archers and charioteers, but fathers, grandfathers, teachers, sons, and friends. But Arjuna is not alone. Alongside him, disguised in the form of a mortal companion and charioteer, stands the god Krishna. Arjuna tells Krishna that when he sees his family ready for war, his knees go weak and he can't stop shaking. There is conflict in his very being. As a prince, he wants nothing more than to fight and win. But as a man, he can't see what good can come from killing his own family.
That is a huge, huge conflict. That's such a conflict, if you think about it, it's just going to rip you in half. You don't need anybody to rip you in half because just the two ideas, the two thoughts, the two wants is just going to... You know, thankfully he has Krishna for some wisdom here.
He drops his weapons and weeps. And Krishna cannot help but laugh. This is precisely why he's come to this battlefield.
Right.
To guide Arjuna to a higher path. A smile on his lips, Krishna explains that there is a divine self, eternal and untouched by the physical world.
Wow.
It is never born, and it never dies. And it is not killed when the body is killed. Just as we change clothes, the divine self changes bodies. So Arjuna should not worry about fighting his family, for their true essence cannot be killed. And seeing how this wisdom begins to calm Arjuna, Krishna continues, revealing many more truths about the universe. He explains that those who make sacrifices in their life, simply to gain pleasures in the afterlife, are misguided. The ultimate spiritual pursuit, he says, should be to detach oneself from material things and dedicate oneself to their dharma, their inherent nature in the universe. And Arjuna's duty, Krishna points out, is that of a warrior. His purpose in life is to fight for what is right.
So I think Krishna is clearly giving him the answer of what he needs to do. Go out and slaughter the other half of his family because, for one, you know, their souls are going to go into another body. And for two, how's he going to get his Brahma? How is he going to be able to leave his body one day and his soul go to Brahma instead of going to another body? His duty as a warrior, he's got to fulfill it, right? So Krishna is crystal clear on what Arjuna needs to do, in my opinion so far.
Now at this point, Arjuna, admittedly, is a little overwhelmed and tries to wrap his head around it. But how can you demand that I act if you believe that enlightenment comes from detaching myself from my actions? Knowing this question was coming, Krishna tells him that he must not act for his own personal gain,
Right.
but for the welfare of the world. Desire, he explains, is the obstacle to seeing this, which invades our senses and clouds our intellect.
Yeah, when you're doing something for the world or other people and you're not doing it for yourself, you're detaching your desires and your wants. Okay.
And Krishna mentions that he's incarnated on the earth for a reason. And whenever there is an imbalance in the universe, Krishna says he manifests himself there. And it was after all of these knowledge bombs that his buddy was dropping that Arjuna started getting an inkling that something otherworldly might be up. So he
Absolutely.
boldly asks Krishna who he really is. Krishna responds that his current form is made of the 5 elements: earth, fire, water, air, and space, as well as mind, intellect, and ego. You know, earthly mortal things. But he also has a higher nature, a true cosmic form. Planets spin in the heavens, the seasons change. There is an unseen force that makes things happen, and Krishna is that force. He is
Vishnu.
the heat in fire, the thought of thinkers, the splendor in the splendid.
The avatar of Vishnu.
Of animals, he is the lion. Of birds, he is Garuda. His true being is formless and infinite. Arjuna's mind, having been so thoroughly blown at this point,
Whoa.
then asks Krishna if he can see this true cosmic form.
Whoa.
Krishna agrees, but due to the fact that Arjuna's eyes are bound to the physical world, Krishna gives him divine vision so
Wow.
that he can truly see. Blazing like 1,000 suns, Arjuna sees infinite mouths, eyes, and limbs, shining with jewels draped in celestial robes.
What a sight.
Thousands of arms raising thousands of divine weapons, and a body anointed with the perfume of the gods. Krishna's eyes were the sun and moon, and all of space and time, beyond heaven and earth, were filled by the body of Krishna. And terrifyingly, Arjuna could see all of the enemy soldiers on the very battlefield where they stood, rushing into Krishna's many-fanged mouths to die.
Oh my goodness.
Previously.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine seeing that? What do you think as a mere mortal, as a mere human being, that he gives you divine eyes so you can see all this and see what's getting ready to happen? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I can't.
Arjuna had worried about the battle because of the consequences. But Krishna showed him that the battle was already over and his enemies have already been slain. Krishna had already accomplished everything, and it was simply up to Arjuna to act according to his dharma. On the spot, Arjuna bows and swears fealty to Krishna. Then, due to him missing his human friend, and frankly being terrified of this new form, he requests the return of the visage of the man he knew before.
Right.
I see. Would you mind going back to your old body?
He had
4
enough.
limbs is plenty. Returning to the form of his old gentle self, Krishna then implores Arjuna once more to fight, but also reminds him that ultimately the choice is his alone. Upon
Right.
hearing this ultimate mystery, Arjuna feels his fear dispel. Knowing now of the becoming and unbecoming of all creatures, and trusting in the divinity of his companion, helping actualize his dharma, he is ready to fight. Arjuna squares his shoulders, takes a deep breath,
Levels
and looks
him.
deep inside himself. He considers all that he has learned from Krishna, and then looks outward to the resplendent battlefield, the sights and sounds returning to him. Yes, he is a warrior and a prince. This is where he belongs. And so confident in who he was and his role in the universe, Arjuna led his troops into battle with newfound wisdom leading the way and complete faith in his heart. The Bhagavad Gita is a beautiful, complex text that serves as a central scripture for the Hindu faith. And while we couldn't possibly have encapsulated the whole thing in a single episode, we hope that this tale inspired you to go check it out more thoroughly for yourself.
Absolutely.
And if you're looking for a like-minded community to discuss it with, please consider joining our patron Discord and keep the conversation going. Yeah,
So that was an absolutely mind-blowing story right there. Because without Krishna, Arjuna sounds like he was going to back out because he was ignorant on knowing what to do, knowing what to believe, and he was thinking worldly. And then Krishna opened his eyes up to the divine, and he could see, it was his destiny. it is what he's got to do. It's what he must do. If he doesn't do it, he's probably never gonna leave this earth, right? He's gonna back out. He's not gonna do his destiny. He's made to be a warrior, but if he backs out and he doesn't do the warrior things, and he's probably gonna die, and he's gonna be reincarnated back into another body, and the cycle's gonna keep going. But if he fulfills his destiny, maybe his spirit ends up into the cosmic up above, and where it belongs, where it's destined to be. But the choice was his, right? But it's good to know, going into battle, you're already going to win because you've already seen the divine scene, right? So you already know it. How much confidence could you possibly have after that? It would have to be maximized up to the top. Anyway, love the story, learned a lot. First time I've heard this story, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. And let me know if I misinterpreted it. Let me know if I said something wrong in my reaction, and correct me if I did. Comment down below and let me know. I don't mind being corrected because, on this earth, none of this is perfect, right? Anyway, hopefully you like the reaction. Hopefully you have something to recommend down below. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to let me know where you're from. And if you like the reaction, you want to go along on this journey with me, hit that subscribe button. So, I'll see you next time. Peace.